Oh, great idea. I think this is a good week to play him.
I'm huge in
Really?
I'm all for
it. So I've had a note I have a one and done like Excel sheet that I put together, and like I have a note like section next to each tournament that I filled out like before the season started. And next to this one, I have DJ one and done. It's sort of like like an automatic. And then next to it, I have watch Bubba Watson. And then, and then next to that, I have, in quotes, and then Masters, because I think this is where Bubba either gets on track or the season sort of fetters away like it did last year, to me, because this is where Bubba has had a lot of success. I think this is what his season's been building to. This is where he is looking to sort of, because let's face it, Bubba plays well where Bubba plays well, and the tracks he doesn't, like he really, really doesn't. So he's played better than expected, I think, recently. And I think this is what he's been kind of building to, and this is like what he's been kind of looking towards. So I expect Bubba to play well here. Probably not win or anything like that, but a top 20, sure. I think, and Bubba probably scores halfway decent as well. So I think if he plays well here, he makes for an interesting value bet at the Masters if you can still get a number on him.
Ugh. I have no interest in Bubba Watson this week.
Listen,
I will be staying
for the record,
far away.
Neither, by the way.
I don't know. Seven of his last 8 rounds losing strokes around the green, and he hasn't been the same guy tee to green. Otherwise, I just if I'm wrong on him, I'll be okay with it.
That's probably the sharp stance to take.
Especially because there's other guys I like in this range, so I'm not gonna have any Bubba.
I will have a little Bubba. I'm not going to have tons of Bubba, but I will have a little Bubba. My maybe favorite play on the whole slate is like $100 less than him.
I think he's going to be really over-owned.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of the course history. And so I just can't. I played him 2 weeks ago, I guess, at the Waste Management, only because I thought he was going to be low-owned. But here I just can't. I can't pull the – I like him. I'm fine with it, but I can't pull the trigger.
Fair enough. Can't fault you.
So, Jimmy, is the guy that you like $100 less Kevin Chappell this week or no?
It is not, although I do like Kevin Chappell. I think he'll top 25. Huh?
Little Tommy Peters for you?
It is little Thomas Peters. Yeah.
I'm with it.
So, if you believe in patterns, I know Evan's big on patterns, right? So Chappell has like missed cut, top 25 missed cut, or he has top 25 missed cut, top 25 missed cut. So this week should be a top 25 for him. Kevin Chappell's locked in for that. Thomas Peters, on the other hand, has in his last 4 tournaments, this will be his 5th because he hasn't played over here this year. He had an 11th at the Turkish Airlines, then a 58th at the DP World Championship, which is poor. But then he followed up the 58th with a 5th place finish, right, at the Abu Dhabi Golf Championship, so a big bounce back. Then he only dropped off to a 32nd at the Dubai Desert Classic. So if you do the math, and I haven't done all of it, I'm just estimating here, he should win this week.
I can't fault the logic. That is mathematically concrete logic right there.
I'm a math teacher, and I'm sure he's right on that.
So, anyway, patterns. No, Thomas Peters is a phenomenal talent, and he was actually a 54-hole leader a few weeks back, and just couldn't close it out on Sunday. So I think he'll draw upon some good memories this week after finishing second here last year. His game's sort of tailor-made for it. He's as talented as Rahm, DJ, and the rest of the guys if he can keep it together between the ears. So I really like Tommy Fleetwood. Sorry, not Tommy Fleetwood. Was that a Freudian slip? I'm looking at a tab with Tommy Fleetwood's name on it. Oh my God! Does that mean Tommy Fleetwood's going to win now, and I'm going to have none of them? This is tragic.
Champion.
I think my fellow people who don't play Euro probably have a pretty bad taste in their mouth about Thomas Peters too. Like in general. Just looking through his like actual PGA results, like I don't know. I feel like after the Masters, everybody loved him. But I'm just saying, I feel like after the Masters, like everybody loved him, and then he misses the cut at the Open. Like there's definitely a segment of people who only play, regular PGA and not Euro that will definitely have some pause. I think the price versus his world golf ranking obviously makes him solid play. But
I'm just banking on what happened last year happening again for the first two places, that Dustin wins and then Peters finishes second. And if that happens, if history just repeats itself, I'll be fine this week. I'm going to lose lots of money, I'm sure.
That's definitely the way to.
It's a great way to think it,
Who else you got up here, Chris, in this 7,000 range?
I am on board with Chappell. I think that he's been playing fairly well. I like all of his stats. I'm good with Chappell. I don't know about Rafa. He played well last week, and then he was bad for a little bit, and then he played well at the end. I don't know about Hostler. I'm probably going to stay away from him, even though I'm looking at our ownership projections now, and he's at 0.6. So, no one at all is remotely even close to him. So it makes me want to play him now. And then I am a huge Keegan fan, as always.
No.
Love him. I'm the Keegan whisperer. I'm the Keegan whisperer.
I'm on board with Keegan with you this week. I've got a lot of him. I wrote him up this week. I really like Keegan's game for this course.
I don't mind it. I don't care if anybody misses a cut. It doesn't make me hate him or anything. It's more enjoyable. I'd rather play Keegan than play I don't know, somebody good rather than somebody bad.
All right, so Jimmy, why don't we do an Avi bet? I'll take Kokrak, and you could take Keegan.
I like Kokrak, though.
But you've already had these strong stances on Keegan.
Come on, you said you wanted Keegan. Take him. Let's go.
I mean, I take my Glover
let me look. We're gonna table that. I think I'll probably take the bet, but we're gonna table that because I really like Kokrak as well. And you know what? Screw it. I'll take the bet.
Take Keegan as your one and done. Show him.
Listen, I'm not that hubris. It's going to be DJ. In fact, I've already locked in my one and done everywhere. It's DJ.
Can't do that. He's taking Tiger. You're taking Keegan. Whoever wins. Come on, take the bet.
Well, no wait. I thought the bet was Kokrak versus.
I
Keegan.
changed it. Wait,
what? How did you just match that?
Did you just hijack his bet?
Yeah. Come on, take a stance.
So if it's Keegan as a one and done versus Tiger, I'm in for that.
Worst one and done picks ever.
If you want to do Keegan versus Tiger as an Avi bet in our one and done league, I'm in for that because you're second and I'm first. You were beating me by $150,000.
Wait, hold
down
on. You
that much already.
You'd rather wait, hold on. Before we even get there, you'd rather give me Tiger than Jason Kokrak.
He's got balls. It takes balls to say
in a one and done league. Tiger versus Kearns, Keegan, maybe. Sure.
Man, but that's for the Avi bet too.
But you have to take. Means you can't use Tiger anywhere else in bogey free for the rest of the year. I'm not worried about using Keegan.
There we go. You're welcome.
So that's your dilemma is whether or not you want to take Tiger.
He's locked in. That's it. We're doing
so it's Tiger versus Keegan for the Avi bet in the one and done league. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know how I just talked to you guys about that.
Perfect.
Our one and done is going to be so easy this week.
There you go, man. I'm helping you out.
There you go.
Awesome. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can move on. We all like Keegan except Matt, who doesn't like Keegan.
No, I hate Keegan. I always hate Keegan. I shouldn't even have to say it at this point.
I mean, he's not the worst golfer in the world.
He's close though.
That's true.
If Keegan wins this week and I win this one and done, I'm not entirely sure how I'll react, but it will be positive.
No.
He's not gonna win. He doesn't do that.
You don't know.
Won a major.
Yeah. You say all these crazy things about Keegan.
Evan was in diapers when he won a major.
Hey, Keegan's on a resurgent tear, so we'll see. Anyway, that's enough Keegan talk for this podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was.
How about we get on to Ollie Schneiderjans at 7,600, the Hatless Wonder, who I think is another excellent play this week. Also, probably going to be very chalky.
Yep, love it. I always love Ollie.
So who do you guys maybe like as some contrarian plays? Because we know that we like Kokrak as well. Like Martin Keimer is criminally underpriced, but I feel like this is a bad course for him since it requires lots of scrambling.
Yeah. I mean, it's Chucky 3-6 all day down here too.
Interesting.
What do you mean? Do we need another Abbey bet?
Not negatively. There's a whole bunch of guys you just skipped past that I thought we're going to talk about. That's all.
What about Streelman? You guys in on him or out? I mean, like I don't think he's going to be very highly.
I was on him last week, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't not on him. I guess I've skipped past him this week, but yeah, he's probably one of those things like where you ride a guy for a couple of weeks and you get off of him and he shows up again like really big.
I mean, he missed the cut last year. That's the only concern that I have of him.
Shortsel, anybody?
I would be out on him. I don't like his first name. If you're gonna cut,
it's a big deciding factor for me too.
If you're gonna cut your name short, I can't roster you. Come on.
I have a Keegan Bradley update that actually makes me kind of on him. Guess who has the 10th highest according to the Fantasy National simulator? Guess who has the 10th highest best odds of winning?
Keegan, because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's adorable.
Now that being said, you see 2 up is Adam Scott. So
yeah, I love Adam.
Yeah. So about Adam Scott at $7,400.
I am a fan of Adam Scott this week.
Even after
nice.
I don't know why, but I just am. I just have the gut feel.
Okay. I don't.
Chris?
I think it was because I watched the other Adam Scott's new show, Ghosted.
Oh God.
And I kind of liked it. And every time I see Adam Scott in a movie, I always end up playing him in DK Golf. It always happens.
I'm not sure what that is, but
it's something we're supposed to know.
What?
I'm sure it's something other people know. It's just I know.
The other Adam Scott, the actor?
The actor.
Yeah, I don't watch TV. I'm not cool.
Oh man.
I'm 31. TV's out.
So I'm assuming the Netflix and chill life is
come on.
That's me. Yeah.
I actually am okay with Adam Scott. I just looked at how he played. I didn't really pay attention because I was so pissed after day one. But I mean, he 77, 70, 70. I mean, that's definitely a good trend, and it is Adam Scott, so he can definitely score really well. But I do think he'll be a little bit more owned than other people down here. But I think he would be a good person to try to jam in if you're trying to take Dustin, because they're, they fit well together, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote up Adam Scott this week as sort of like a risky play. I like Adam Scott this week. His course history is sort of incredible. His game is tailor-made for it. He didn't lose strokes anywhere on the course last week except putting, and he didn't even lose a whole stroke. He only lost 0.8, and he still missed the cut because it's like a scoring event, right?
Yeah,
with 3 rounds. So I don't know if Adam Scott's game is like as far away as everybody else thinks it is.
It was the bad first round, and it was a couple of holes.
You add that to the course history, and I kind of like Adam Scott as a really cheap value play. But that one guy that shows up on the scoring list for out of the rough and birdies out of the fairway, he's the only person in the field that shows up in the top 10 of both lists. It's Adam Scott. He scores more than 25% out of the rough. 25% of the time he's in the rough, he scores out of it.
Let's see here.
So I did the math, and guys like Adam Scott, Martin Laird fits that list. Berger, Woodland, Spieth, and Holmes are also on that list. So is Charlie Hoffman, Kokrak. Those are all guys in the top 20. Birdie or better out of the rough. guys on that list will average 1.56 birdies more than the rest of the field this week.
I'm not trying to be rude, but the last math that you did, I felt like was a little big jumps. So I'm a little scared when you say I did the math here.
No, this is actual math. This is real math. This is not like Thomas Peters winning pattern math. This is actual math.
That was still good math.
On the fairways that the field will miss based on future fantasy and the rate that these guys score out of the rough, they will average 1.56 birdies more than the rest of the field. So for those few guys I just listed.
If you look at Adam Scott and how he played now, like from the reason why he missed the cut was purely because of a 3-hole span. Like that's what killed him. He was good the rest of the couple of rounds, and there's a 3-hole span there where he went bogey, double, bogey, and kind of screwed him in that first round. And I think you're right. I think he's a good play. I could definitely use him pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I don't want to be early on him. I feel like there's still something wrong, regardless of the strokes gain stuff. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
I will move a little farther down from him. I mean, we have the rest of the lower half, that 7K range. And you got some decent names here. Of course, you have Ted Potter.
Yeah, no.
Going back to back.
No, we're down in your territory, Matt. We're in Sang Moon Bay territory.
Yeah, I was about to ask about him.
Yeah, man. I mean, how do you not?
12th his last 3 times here before he had to go to military service. So what is that? And then what did he finish last week? Like 20th, 13th, 15th, something like that. So what are you gonna do? You playing him? I wrote him up. Basically, I wrote him up for you. Actually, it was kind of like an ode to Matt Jones.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
Brewing CEO.
There. Hey, don't get me in trouble. I'm not the CEO.
CEO,
yeah,
CFO.
Yeah, I think he's a solid play. I think I was sort of saying it for a few weeks, right? Like I'm just waiting for that like snap back, like get into a little bit of form. And to be totally honest, I mean, I know we only had the 2 rounds at Pebble to go with the strokes gain stuff, but it's not like he was way like, unsustainable putting or anything like that. He just put together solid rounds, played really well. I think he'll be comfortable here, obviously, like you said, with his course history. So yeah, I mean, 7,200, I think we'll definitely see that price start to come up as we head towards the Masters. So I'm happy to play him a little bit. I'm hoping he doesn't get too chalky, but I've already seen people tweeting about him. So I think his ownership is gonna be higher than we might think at the moment.
Yeah, Haotong Li is the other interesting guy down here at 72, and Jonathan Vegas. I wrote up Jonathan Vegas. I really think that we've seen like a better Jonathan Vegas this year. He's kind of like filled out his game a little bit from just being a bomber. Got great long irons. I think this could be a course where he plays pretty well this week. So those 2 guys are interesting to me. I don't think I'll play Haotong Li. A little too volatile and coming overseas, but talented player. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at Vegas down here, and then Lee, obviously. Molinari kind of intrigues me down here. And then another one that we skipped past that I do really like is Charlie Hoffman. I really like what he can do, and he just seems.
Why did he withdraw?
Oh, did Hoffman withdraw this week?
Last week. Why did he withdraw last week? I assumed it was an injury, but if it's not, then I'm more interested.
I'm not sure. No.
I'm trying to pull it up now.
Anyway, sorry, I derailed you. My apologies.
It says emergency 9. Can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't find anything on him. But as far as that goes, I liked all those guys, and then I played Brian Gay last week and really, really liked what he could do. But then this week, I think the course is just going to be too long for him to be able to do anything. I think he's not as long of a hitter. The other one down here I'm looking at is Cameron Smith. Do you have any thoughts on him?
Love Cam Smith.
Yeah,
he's been popping and everything too. Just obviously he has solid around the green stuff.
His distance
last one
isn't there.
But I mean,
that's
he's
my
average,
big concern with him is I'm not sure he can hang on this big of a golf course because he's not like a really efficient driver. I feel like with his distance, he needs to be more efficient to compete here, and I worry about him just being like bleeding a stroke and a half around away that he just won't be able to recover. But I mean, I could be wrong. That's just like what my gut tells me on him.
Yeah, another one is Lucas Glover.
Evan Here we go, smiled. Evan. Go ahead.
I think Evan just popped the chub.
Sorry.
Dude, glove daddy.
But I mean, he's in the same category though with Luke List, where like if you run stat models, those two guys are like gods compared to everybody else. But he did have some solid rounds to where he made cuts. I mean, the last time he missed a cut was the Travelers, 2017. Since then, he's made every single cut. So, I just think for this price, he's somebody that you could kind of jam in with a DJ and feel moderately okay about it. I don't think I'd ever touch him in cash, but I think he definitely is somebody I'd feel okay about. Am I way off base there? Do you all or?
No, you can always feel like okay about him. It's it's just I always worry about his upside. I mean, unless he catches one of those heaters. But I mean, on a difficult course like this that plays over par, you can always like count on Lucas Glover to be tee to green and to kind of be there. I just I guess we're getting more into the season where Lucas Glover's game kind of competes because the courses are tougher. Because the premium on fairways and tee to green is enhanced with the course difficulty going up. So I can see it. I guess I'm just never a big Glover fan for the upside, but
yeah, I think just
Evan's a huge fan.
Just on principle, I have to be against Lucas Glover, but I can't say anything nice about him because I just can't do it.
What about James Hahn?
Love him. Like, I just think, like, he's a weekend god. Like, I've been playing him every weekend just because he's on, like, the greatest weekend golfer, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like
I always miss the James Hahn boat, but this seems like a week where he could play well. Like, he's played well at Riviera before. He's won here before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't know. I'm a little intrigued by that. Gets pretty gross. There's one guy at 6,900 I really like, and if you guys don't have anybody else.
Let's hit it.
It's a Martin Laird.
Yeah,
Party Marty
coming off was like a top 10, ninth place I think, ninth place at the Waste Management, and has played pretty well here in the past. Also missed a couple of cuts, so not without risk. But at 6,900, I think if you're like trying to jam in DJ and some of the other guys up there, you gotta get really low, and he's one of them. Brandon Harkins is another one that's really low at 6,800.
Yeah, and he's long off the tee, and he does pretty well scoring. So he's somebody that even, if he can make it to a weekend, he can score you some points.
For sure.
To other people this low, because he's 11th in the field over his last 50 rounds in scoring for DK points.
Nice.
Yeah, those are my two guys down here.
We're going with $6,600 love mark.
I won't.
It's certainly an option.
This seems like the kind of course he'd play well at, though. When you think about it, he's a bomber. He scrambles really well, and he is like a decent putter. But it's not because he's a terrible golfer.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad lately.
You guys not big Harris English fans?
No.
Is there such a thing as a Harris English fan?
I mean, there has to be someone.
Like maybe his mom, but
like his mom or significant other, whoever. I mean, someone's got to like him.
I've never gotten him right. Anytime I've ever had like a decent feeling about Harris English, it always comes back to bite me.
You know who could play well again this week is Troy Merritt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was on TV more than I've ever watched him golf in my life on Sunday.
Yeah, and what's funny? Like he's a really underrated athlete. I saw like a behind the tour thing on him or something a year or two ago. He's a really, really like unassumingly athletic person.
I think to tell us he needs to lose some weight.
No. He's very svelte, very trim, streamlined. I think he was much more athletic than I thought he was when they did the thing. I was impressed. Like Cole Beasley. You know how athletic Cole Beasley is? He like that little dude can dunk a basketball.
And he's an awesome rapper too, so he's got that going for him.
Is he really? That's great. I didn't even know that about him.
He's god awful. He came out with the rap song. It was terrible.
Oh, I thought you were going to deliver some awesome news.
Look it up on your free time. It's something special.
Oh, bummer.
All right. I mean, I don't have anybody else here. You guys have anybody else that's even worth a dart throw?
No.
Maybe Bud Cauley, but probably not. That's the only other name that I'm even like remotely comfortable.
I do have one name to throw out there. What about Kyle Stanley? Is that
sure?
I know he's like really boring to watch, but
if you're feeling it. If you're down here and you have like a conviction on any of these guys, you can go for it because like Cameron Tringale could show up or Aaron Badley. I played Aaron Badley last week and he had a decent week. Like, you know, if you've got a feeling.
Tringale is the only one down here that even has like reasonable, like if you're into course history, like he's the only one that even has like decent course history down here. I think he's made something like 5 straight cuts and I think it was top 10 here last year. So if you are a course history person, that's something to hang your hat on for like basically free, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.